embraced by everyone in the organization, including the baby boomers and the rest coming down to the millennials. The number two, the millennials or Generation Y, X down the line prefer the social media, the Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook. How should organizations ensure that in line with the the bill that has been assented to by the President to be a law on cyber misuse and computer misuse and cybercrime? In relation to that, how should we ensure that as we allow and embrace technology, organizations manage and ensure they don't go beyond this law and apply it in the right way? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? The third one? Any other question? All right, then we will allow Mr. Wanyama to handle.
The curriculum the stakeholders of university are we able to strike a balance so that we don't appear to be leaning to the expense of the other? There's a matrix that I will share from that I have, which is talking about assuming that you are a baby boomer manager and you are dealing with a generation, or you are dealing with a millennial, you strike a balance. Today is an example that I have an organization where we are recruiting a marketing officer from the when you advertise for the position, our mindset was a marketing officer from it created a strong challenge because to structure to accommodate
profession, you realize towards find out, especially if you're hiring somebody, go back to the background. One of the background checks that we also includes the social media. So you can look at your profile from the time you started or you opened an account, how has been your activities, and you are now able to link that to the process, and also we look at your other background checks. So you find that that's now an emerging area that professionals are looking at, just to establish that the person that you are for is somebody that has some background that is worth talking about. Thank you.
Appreciate Mr. Wanyama. Thank you. We are now going to get questions on moderating role of gender, on the relationship between advertising and consumer brand preference for mobile phone services in Kenya. Anybody with a question? Then Moses Onyango is here ready to answer them. We have one here.
About okay. I would have wished to hear about the sample size. Again, the presenter has talked about using questions, showing structured questions, or cross-ended questions and open-ended questions. And from his approach, from what I've seen, he has purely adopted a qualitative approach where he has basically given us figures. But in his presentation, I heard him talk about semi-structured questions, rather open-ended questions. So again, I was keen to hear how he treated data on open-ended questions, because the moment he mentioned that, I expected to hear about some aspect of qualitative analysis. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Any other? There's one here.
To me, Mr. Onyango, I was listening to you and I was keen on the two-way interaction on the graph. You said that the female are doing better in terms of the advertisement, but as I was listening to a research that was being submitted in French FM, channeled through 1FM, they were saying that the advertisement in Kenya, almost 60% men are taking over the advertisement, giving examples of Songa Safaricom. They were giving examples of Tunukiwa services. They were giving examples of all soaps. If you look at almost 60%, 40% women are advertising, but the rest is like men, because if you see even Sunlight, Njuguna is in. You can look at advertisements, also voiceovers. You can realize that men are doing better in that section. and they were saying that men are above by 60%. So can you prove to us that female are doing better? Because I can only see maybe if it's only a female product that our female can advertise, because I think the research is a bit opposite of what the Oxford University student was submitting. He had done a research for 3 years in the country. It's a research that took place for like three years actually. Thank you.
Thank you. One more, question number 3. Thank you.
So, thank you. My question, actually, some bit of it was asked by Simon. Your findings, part of your findings, you had 13, is it R square of 13%? This is to Moses, yeah? 13%, then after putting in the intervention, it went up to 14%. So my question is, what is the place of your findings against such weak correlation? So how did you arrive at your findings, considering that the relationship was weak? Now, the second one on the population, there's a bit that you mentioned that you carried your study in Nairobi, so you picked out a sample of 500. So the question will be, how did you pick this particular guy, 500, and how did you go about it? Because like now I'm in I believe. So is study. Did you like get guys who are on the streets? Are they visiting guys? How did you control such instances? So some clarification on the same, and also how you used your stratified random on the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna, you can now answer the questions.
Okay, thanks for the questions. To start with the ones asked by Simon. On methodology, I noticed that I rushed through it because I think I took a bit of time on the first bit of the presentation. In terms of the target population, I'd say that my target population was subscribers who are living in Nairobi. And the basis of the characteristic for choosing them was if you are subscribed to a mobile phone service. So that was to do with the population. Then in terms of the sampling plan, I know it was in the screen, but I didn't clearly explain it. I use stratified, multi-stage stratified sampling plan. This will go, I think it will also answer your question. The way I did it was, I looked at the constituencies in Nairobi. There are 17. So out of 17, I took 5 constituency. And from each 5 constituency, I took 2 wards. So from those, now I looked at the population census of 2009. So now I was doing what we call the household survey. So going from, it was through random of from the selected household and interview respondents who are, one of the qualifications should be that the person should be over 18 and should be registered to a mobile phone service before the interview is conducted. Size, I think already the colleague there indicated it was 500 people whom I got the data from and interviewed, and this was done through interview and also using interview. Such a system to collect the data, training them. The reason why in Nairobi, the reason why I used Nairobi was I'd given past studies which have used a city to represent the country, because of the constraint of time and resources, one may not be able to collect data from all parts of the world. And also looking at the demographic factors I was interested in. If you look at maybe the economic part of it, like the income and the gender, you should be able to get that across from the samples, from the sampled words which I looked at. Then the other question you asked was, in the questionnaire I had indicated that I'd used open-ended and structured questions. I know from what I presented, I only looked at the structured bit, but it's something which is an oversight which I need to and I should have reported also the other aspect which is dealing with the content analysis. Then the second question was on two-way interaction. You had said that there was a research which showed that men are doing better in advertisement. I think the context in which that was done is different from what I was, my study. My study is not whether men are doing better in advertisement than females. My study was that in terms of responding to marketing stimuli, women are more detailed in the analysis. Just like, assume you are working with a lady friend and you meet, let's say, a man or a lady. You know, after you go some distance and somebody asks you, have you met somebody like this and this? For a man, he'll just say, yeah, we met a lady. But for the lady, she will even be able to remember what she was wearing in terms of the shoes, if it is a skirt, the color, the blouse, the color, what kind of hairstyle she was putting on. So ladies are more detailed in terms of processing the marketing stimuli which they get through advertising. So in that way, you'll find that the way they process the information is different from us men. Us will go for the general theme. We'll not go into the details of what is really in the information. So it's not an issue of who is doing better than the other in terms of the gender. It is the issue of how do they respond to the marketing stimuli. So the research which you refer to, in terms of the context, is different from the one I'm talking about. Then there was a question which was asking that when I regressed the dependent and the independent and the dependent variable, I got 13.6.